many of you wish that you had enough energy so that when you woke up in the morning, you didn't have to press the snooze button, right? Or maybe you could flip a switch and the stomach cramping and bloating would go away. Or you would ease the aches and pains. Or maybe you could just feel good and get through the day without the cup of coffee. Well, if you fit into any of those categories, then you're in the right place. Imagine the possibility of being able to have enough energy to live a full and vibrant life, to be able to eat food and not worry about stomach pain and nausea and cramping, or simply to feel great every day, all the time. You see, I was not always a health nut. Not always a health nut. I was pretty normal growing up. I grew up in the standard American home. When I was little, my brother and I, we used to sit on the couch and we used to beg, "Daddy, please bring home McDonald's. Daddy, please bring home McDonald's." Right? And lo and behold, Daddy would show up with McDonald's. And to boot, there was always the Carvel sundae. I remember I had chocolate chip mint with hot fudge, walnuts, pineapples, and, the whipped cream on top and the cherry, of course. I know some of you were salivating. I used to salivate too. But the truth is I was also very sick as a child. I suffered with debilitating asthma and always had some kind of ear infection popping up at one point or another. And then fast forward, I go to college, and I get ready to go to Columbia, and I go to Costco, and I stock up my cart with what everyone else does, right? I buy the big container of coffee. I go ahead and purchase all the macaroni and cheese so I could cook something in my dorm room. I got some fruit snacks, so I had something healthy. And then I had the Twizzlers for, late night studying. Well, by the end of my first semester, I was relying on coffee just to stay awake. And by the second semester, I was waking up every morning, literally sick to my stomach, with constant nausea. So I did what everyone else did, right? I walked myself to the doctor, and I said, "Doc, help me out here." And he did his battery of tests, and he wrote out his prescription, and he handed it to me. And he said, "Here you go. Take this. For the rest of your life, you're good. That's all you need." And I kind of stopped for a moment. Now, this is the world that I had lived in. I had been used to this, right? I grew up on inhalers. Take this for the rest of my life. This just didn't seem to make sense. And so this was the turning point in my life, in my journey, where I said, there's something wrong here. I have this amazing body. Why does it require a prescription in order to heal itself? Doesn't make sense. Now, things didn't change overnight, right? I've spent a lot of time learning and studying and discovering to figure out exactly how to get the body to heal itself. Because we all want to wake up and jump out of bed in the morning and have the energy to do whatever we want to do. Well, when I first started in practice years ago, I just practiced basic nutrition. I had a full understanding from my research and learnings and studying that food helps the body heal, right? You change somebody's diet and their whole health transforms. But I'd still have these tough cases, right? Someone maybe couldn't sleep through the night. And so, I knew from my research and studying, well, maybe a little melatonin could help them. Maybe that might be the answer. Or, someone with weight issues, they can't lose weight, maybe a little vitamin D. We're all vitamin D deficient, right? Maybe that's the answer. But for me, that wasn't enough. I needed to know whether or not that was the right thing for that person, and heck, how much of it would they actually need? And so I went on a quest, and that's when I discovered the Biofield, or what I like to call the body's electrical system. Now, I see day in and day out in my practice that you give the body what it needs and it heals itself. But how does it do that? I had to dig in and learn more. So back in the 1970s, there was a German biophysicist by the name of Alfred Fritz Popp. And what he discovered was that within every single cell, there is a biophoton. Think of a beautiful light emanating from every cell. And now every single cell in our body is also made with this crystalline matrix. So every single cell in our body has a resonance. It has a frequency, okay? And this frequency, this resonance, is really the key to how we help the body with illness. So in the work that I do, I use a combination of different things. So I use science-based kinesiological testing, time-proven ancient detoxification therapies, mud therapy, castor oil therapies, dare I say, coffee enemas. And I go through a very systematic analysis of the body's subtle energy system, okay, along with nutrition. Because if we don't have that nutrition piece in play, things just don't work. We need that, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. And finally, nutraceutical breakthroughs. So knowing exactly what the body needs and how much in order to bring those cells up so they're resonating like this at their highest resonance, so the body has its ability to heal itself. So throughout my practice, the real key insight that I've learned is that the state of the body's quantum energy field is the key factor that can determine how effectively and efficiently the body can heal itself. And so the natural question to that is, well, what impacts this biofield? What impacts this biofield? So first and foremost is nutrition, right? You change somebody's diet, you change the life. I can't tell you how many countless patients come in with thyroid issues. We pull the gluten out of the body. We test first to see if their body's reactive to it. We pull it out of their body, and all of a sudden their thyroid numbers begin to change. Their symptoms begin to decrease. They're not dealing with the same symptoms anymore day in and day out. The other part that I work with nutritionally is supplementation, because I have to tell you, as good as our diets can be, the food that we have available today just isn't what it should be or what it was before. So that's the first thing that impacts the body's biofield. The next thing is injuries, scars, and traumas. And I think the work that I do and the procedures that I go through in my practice are pretty unique because we identify the different scars, injuries, and traumas of the biofield. Because think about it, the body is an electrical system, right? You get a cut right here, what happens to the electrical system? We've just shut down a part of that electrical system. The energy can no longer flow. In fact, I had a client who came in, digestive issues, stomach, bloating, cramps, gas, nausea. We use mud therapies. We clear the interference field from his broken nose as a child, and all of a sudden, his digestive system functions as it should. The other story I like to tell is I had a client come in. She was coming in for menopausal issues, incontinence issues as well. And we go through her health history. It's part of the process and procedure. And we find out that she gets headaches all the time. And she said, you know, these headaches, these are like pretty unique headaches. Every time I feel this headache, I feel like a squiggly line in my head. I was like, okay, well, I haven't heard that one yet before, but definitely know about headaches. So it turns out that many years prior, in an attempt to fix her urinary issue, she had a wire that was inserted, a squiggly wire. So we clear the interference field, and there's no more squiggly headaches. So the interference fields have a huge impact on the body's biofield and how the body functions itself. So we've got nutrition, we have interference fields. The next one is dental health. So I know a lot of people, they hear the word dentist and they all cringe a little bit because, okay, the dentist can be scary sometimes. But the truth is your dental health is critical to your health period. I have a woman this week who came in. She's been a long-term client of mine, and she says, I'm starting to get some swelling right here in my jaw. And my Hashimoto's, I'm seeming to get a little bit of symptoms coming up. I said, okay, interesting. So we take a look, we do a little bit of the kinesiologic testing, and where is it going? It's reflexing to her teeth. She's got 3 mercury fillings over here. So, we work on that. I give her some detoxification measures to begin to work on the detoxification, but it's a Band-Aid. She's got to have the mercury removed from her teeth before it goes away. She's doing better. The swelling in the last couple days has come down. Her symptoms have subsided, but it's just a Band-Aid. She needs to get rid of the mercury in her teeth. It has a huge impact. Myself, several years ago, I had a crazy rash on my arm. I could not get the thing to go away. So I start testing. Lo and behold, that rash connected directly to the 1 mercury filling that I had in my mouth. I remove the mercury filling, and guess what? The rash disappears. So the body has its way of speaking, of telling you when it's time to get rid of things like mercury fillings. But dental infections are a big deal. So you have to pay attention to your dental health. The next thing that's really important that we often take for granted is electromagnetic frequencies. Think about it, guys. Our body is an electrical system, right? So if we're bringing in electromagnetic frequencies, what's happening with your electromagnetic system? They are interacting. So it impacts the way that the body functions. I need a volunteer. Does anyone have an unprotected cell phone? If you do, come on up. Come on up. I'm going to show you guys exactly how the body's bioenergetic field is impacted. Come on up. And just place your phone down. And come on over here. Are you right-handed?
Left.
Left-handed. Okay, so we're going to use your left hand. So I'll have you stand over here, and I'll come around the other side just so they can see us. I'm going to have you take your thumb and your ring finger and put them together tip to tip for me. And I'm just going to come in and hug your fingers, okay? I want you to hold your fingers, focus here, and hold as strong as you can. Hold, hold. Okay, she's got a nice solid lock. She can hold her fingers together. So we're getting a measure, a read of her bioenergetic field. Now I'm going to have her hold her cell phone. Yeah. I want you to hold as strong as you can. Hold as strong as you can.
I know.
Hold as strong as you can. Okay.
Yeah.
She can't hold it together because the EMFs from that phone are taking her cells, it's in her hand, and it's impacting her entire body. Now, I use a Q disc to fix that.
Okay.
So we use the Q disc to harmonize it, and there's a lot of things that I use in my practice that harmonize the EMFs. Think about it. We live in homes that are surrounded by these EMFs. So this is something that's impacting our bioenergetic field all the time. Thank you so much. So EMF's another big part. Nutrition, interference fields, dental health, EMFs. The next one is emotional traumas. We all take the emotional piece for granted. It's like, I want to get better physically, but that emotional piece is huge. Our body stores emotional traumas and beliefs inside of our cells. And so in the work that I do, we actually neutralize those emotional scars and traumas and beliefs and make it so that they're no longer having an impact. Because this emotional trauma impacts the body's energetic field just like an interference field would, just like a cut, a scar, or a trauma. So I'll give you an example. I had a client who came in dealing with depression and also low energy, two kind of go together. So we begin to work on some of the emotional stuff. And the next time he comes in, so I see my clients every 30 days. The next time he comes in, he's like a brand new person. He's out there, he's feeling good, he's not worried about things, he's getting up in the morning rather than hitting the snooze button just to get up, okay? So those emotional traumas are really key. For my clients suffering for autoimmune disorders, okay, or cancer, those emotional traumas play a really big role. People, and I will tell you, 99 to 100% of us almost, who actually go and check in how the body thinks, don't believe that we can love ourselves. And we don't believe that we can be loved, whether at the conscious or the unconscious level. So we clear those, and all of a sudden people have the ability to heal. Because how can you heal if you don't love yourself? Okay? All right, the next one is toxins. So toxins in general affect the biofield. So we talked about the EMFs, we talked about the food, but there's other things like the water that we ingest, like the air that we breathe, the materials that we put in, on, and around our bodies all have an impact. All of a sudden you bring a toxin into your body now requires additional nutrient needs just to deal with and manage those toxins. But there's one toxin that I want to point out that many of us often overlook, and that's stress. You can have the healthiest diet in the world, be doing every single thing correct, clear all of your interference fields, take care of all of your dental health. If you are chronically stressed out and don't get a break, the body has no ability to heal itself because it's the hamster running on the wheel. So managing stress is really super key and critical. So if you're looking to empower your biofield, get everything to flow as it's supposed to, then one of the key pieces as well is the stress piece. So I've shared with you today, I hope I've given you a glimpse of what the body's bioenergetic field is and the things that can have an impact on it, right? So the nutrition, the interference fields, dental health, the EMFs, the emotional traumas, and the toxins. So I really invite you, wrong way. I really invite you today to think about these different things. Where can you work? What area can you work on to empower your biofield so that your body's electrical system can function the way that it can? We all have the ability. The power of our health really is in our hands with every single choice that we make. Thank you.